Thank you so much for joining us at midday. We start with some breaking news out of Indianapolis. Mayor Joe Hogsett and the Marion County Health Department are holding a media conference to discuss COVID-19 restrictions in the city and the county. They include bars limited to 25% capacity inside, a maximum of 6 people at tables. All hospitality and entertainment venues have to close at midnight. And this media conference started about a half hour ago. We're going to go ahead and listen in.
To go virtual, 13%. So our high schools are at 18%. Our middle school is at a little over 14%. And then when we look at our elementary schools, we're lower, okay, about nearly 8%. But at the rate of rise that we're going for even the elementary schools, we think we're going to reach possibly 12% or higher, possibly by the end of next week, okay? So these are really critical concerns about what's happening with our positivity rate in our schools. And let me say, we did a fantastic job from mid-August up to this point. But these last 2 weeks, we've seen a substantial increase. And we can have a good control in our schools, not a problem. But you can only do it when your community level spread is not so significant. So we could keep that good control of our schools, but when your community spread is rising so rapidly and getting at a higher numbers, then it's not the same safe environment in our schools that we had prior to this. Next slide. So as a result of that, we're now recommending a new change in our public health order effective Monday, November the 16th at noon, that bars will return to 25% indoor capacity with 100% outdoor capacity. Restaurants will remain at 50% indoors with 100% outdoor capacity. But let me just say, for those who have outdoor tents, they must be only two-sided, okay? We cannot have an enclosed space outdoors because of the ventilation and circulation. That's how we're able to allow a higher 100% outdoor capacity for the restaurants. Live entertainment and music venues must be cleared of all patrons from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. What are we saying? Live entertainment and any music venues must be cleared of all patrons. That means you're not taking someone in at 11:55 because they made it in before 12 a.m. and they can sit there and do their thing. They have to be out by midnight. Next slide. Next slide. Our gymnasiums and fitness centers are going to drop from 50% to a 25% capacity. We have new regulations for our long-term facilities that we are now changing, who may be allowed to do indoor visitation. If a visitor can have a negative COVID-19 testing in the last 72 hours before they visit a loved one, if they want to go indoors. So we are requiring them to have a negative COVID-19 test in the last 72 hours if they're visiting a loved one indoors. When we look at dining out, tables must return to seating only 6 people. Tables must return to seating only 6 people, not 10. We're asking all funeral homes now must return to a 50% capacity. And our social gatherings will go from 50, now limited to 25 people. Next slide. So now, for what we think is our major strong emphasis in order to safeguard our children, our teachers, and our staff, no later than November the 30th, we're requiring that all schools return to virtual instruction. We are happy if you have the ability to go virtual prior. We like to encourage that. And this will include all grades from kindergarten to 12th grade. So I know it may be a hardship for some of you. Some of you schools may have had no cases whatsoever. But it is to the point now we're seeing significant spread in our schools now that in order to safeguard everyone, we're asking that all schools be required to return to virtual instruction no later than November 30th. Now, when it comes to extracurricular activities and sporting events, the 30th, we're asking that all school extracurricular activities and sporting events can only include participants, their parents, or guardians, and support personnel. So beginning November, K through 12, school extracurricular activities and sporting events can only include participants, their parents or guardians, and support personnel. And this order will end on January the 15th through 2020. So this order ends on January the 15th, 2020, unless we see some remarkable, surprising information where we want to be flexible. Miracles can happen sometimes, but otherwise, these are the instructions and recommendations we have in place right now. I believe that should be the last slide. Mayor Hotsett, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr.
And you just heard there the newest health order in Marion County. So let's break that down for you here. The Marion County Health Department just reported an update to the county's COVID-19 restrictions. Those changes include bars returning to 25% indoor capacity, 100% outdoor capacity. Schools will now be required to return to virtual learning by the end of the month, but they're asking for schools to go ahead and start that earlier if they can. If you'd like to continue watching the Marion County Health Department's press conference, please go ahead to our Facebook page and our website. We're streaming it right now.